We human beings take our life too seriously, but life is just a time pass. You have been allotted 70 years, 75 years, or 80 years. We are all doing something to do time pass. So I'm doing time pass with you today, and we all want this to become meaningful.
People don't take women even more seriously. People would come and ask me in an interview, what time do you come to work? I said, what time do you come to work, dude? Like, what kind of questions are they?
Fair. Should
Okay.
we turn this into a pitch then?
Yeah.
Would you be interested in coming on board for chapter 2?
I just have one question maybe.
So I remember the कहानी. It was बचपन में कहानी थी. एक राजा था, उसकी एक डॉटर होती है.
It's a very bad कहानी.
वो कभी
Good to go? Rolling? Okay, Kishore sir, Ashni, welcome on chapter 2. Very happy to have you all here. This is the first time we have a father-daughter duo. And this is also potentially the first episode of the season 2 of chapter 2 podcast. So welcome.
Great.
Thank you for coming. What I found really interesting when I met you guys in your house recently, and thank you for the lunch, that Marwadi food is very yum, is that there's a very interesting dynamic in your house, especially because there's 3 women. So the alpha male and the 3...
4 women.
4
My
women.
daughter.
Oh, your daughter. 4 women. And so there's a yin and yang balance that I see. What I found interesting, sir, is I always think about this quote by Jim Morrison that for any large-scale revolution to happen outside, it has to take place inside. A personal revolution has to happen. So today we're here to talk about the personal revolutions that both of you all may have had individually, together, or all 5 of you all would have had as a family. So I'd like to actually start with Ashni. Ashni and I have bonded over some coffee and some meals from time to time. I find it very interesting. I find you to be a very wholesome person. In the sense that I know that you're in your chapter 2. You had a personal journey and a new phase of your life has begun. But nothing about you seems to me as incomplete. You don't seem to be waiting for the next big thing to happen to you or the next stop. So I wanted to know a bit more about this ideology and your thought process and what essentially makes Ashni Ashni.
So yeah, I think it's been a journey. I think, when you start off, you're in this phase of doing and you're constantly doing, you're constantly chasing, and it reaches a point where you just want to be. And you embrace everything that you see and is happening around you with a certain amount of objectivity. This journey didn't happen to me overnight. Like you said, I think there was a breaking down moment and point which happened. And for me, it happened both simultaneously, both in my personal life and also, the identity of work and the identity of our chapter 1. It broke down almost at the same time. So that journey of understanding what was happening and finding one's own next chapter is that journey that one has been through, that mess, that sort of turmoil. I want to believe one has wrapped up, and now we're at the beginning of chapter 2 in some ways. And I think in that mess and in that, they say that manthan, that, where you're churning, you decide what is important, you decide what to leave behind, you decide what you want to embrace, what you want to take forward, and only focus on what matters eventually. So for me, all that matters is now my bacha, my family, which is the core of our identity, at least mine, which is the 5 of us, my sister, my parents, me and Ashwi, and my work, because I think the purpose of what we are doing is far more interesting than what we are actioning today. So vision बहुत बड़ा है, कर रहे हैं अभी धीरे-धीरे.
Okay, I want to understand. I want to come back to this vision, but before I go there, you said something very interesting. You said that thing that was crashing was happening together.
Yeah.
It was also happening for him and you and for the whole family. Is it kind of, your strength becomes your weakness, but as a father to you, when your entire professional life is crumbling and your daughter is going through something personally, how do you kind of be there for each other and lift each other like two wounded people at the same time?
So I'll say by an interesting शेर बोलना हूँ. I don't know why I'm saying this, but बोलते हैं एक दर्द के बाद दूसरे दर्द का एहसास नहीं होता. So the pain was so big. So in a way, because 35, 40 years of work, all crumbling in your own eyes, everything is happening in front of you, and we always felt in control of everything what we did in life. So you are in control of business, you are in control of family, you are in control of the entire ecosystem, and things don't work out the way, and nothing is in your control. So the pain, I think the pain, you don't feel any pain in a way.
So there's a very nice quote that I live by, which is, the heart breaks until it breaks open. So now it's not that you don't feel the pain, the heart doesn't break anymore. It's just open to experience life, chahe dukh ho, chahe sukh ho. But sir, like for a man at your level, retail king of India, as they call it, who's going for it, you know, pantaloons, big bazaar, success, tuck, everyone's talking about you, this becomes this big giant of a business. And then it crashing, and now you're here building everything differently and in a new way, in your new chapter 2. What is that loss? वो जो एक identity की भी एक पहचान होती है ना अपनी, and for I think for men वो ज़्यादा deep होती है अपने काम के ज़रिए से. You know कि this is who I am. मैं ये करता हूँ और ये मैं हूँ. जब वो identity टूट जाती है, तो बचता क्या है?
Surprisingly, Rhea, for me, the life has been very different. My identity never got lost. And today when I take flights, I'm at the airport, I'm at the public space, there were 55,000 employees directly employed by us. There were more than 14,000 vendors and suppliers. And I bump into them every day. And then there is that new generation who has watched some of my podcasts, and they come back relating to you. They don't know the other story.
Correct.
They know the story from the podcast days. So I'm getting more interest in me than ever, and I can't believe this, because of somebody who has lost everything. Somebody in India, people don't look upon people who have lost in life. I've been fortunate in a sense that I get more recognition now than ever in my life I got.
Oh, 100%.
No, how can it be 100%? I'm surprised.
I'll tell you why, sir. Because I mean,
No, but people lost money with me. People have lost quite a few things. So it's not easy.
But they see the resilience in you, right? They see that here's somebody who's brilliant. Okay, something happened and it didn't work out, but has the resilience to do it again or try again.
There is some story, but I am not able to decipher that story yet.
You find it fascinating?
I find it very interesting, and I want to decipher it. Why? And I think it's a very interesting story for the country, for people to try, fail, come back again. I think that's a story which needs to be heard, needs to be told, and people will get confidence, because in India, once you are gone, you are gone. So
largely.
Coming back is, in a business, coming back is an interesting story.
It's interesting. But what I meant to say, sir, is that there is a certain validation that comes through the work you do.
I understand that. But still, the people love to talk about the follies and the mistakes of people. People don't want to talk about the good things about you. There is good thing in everyone. So we are lucky. I'm saying we are very fortunate.
You're saying you're very fortunate, and this hasn't really...
Yeah, this has not come in a negative way.
Is it that it didn't come in a negative way, or you're just such a positive person that everything turned around?
I think, but you know that current world, the social media, the trolling, people don't leave anybody. People don't spare anyone.
Yeah, but there, I don't see that much trolling around you.
No, I've been very fortunate and lucky. That's what I'm saying. I'm one
It's
exception.
an anomaly.
I don't know why.
It's an anomaly.
I'm also discovering that thing. Maybe we'll discover through remarks which will come on this podcast.
Maybe we'll discover it on this podcast. Ashni, for you, from your lens, when all of this was happening, what did you feel that as a daughter you needed to provide to him emotionally? And what was those moments that, you know, probably strengthened your bond to a point that it is as strong as it is today?
Yeah, so as a family, we are extremely close now, like terribly close now. So I think there were 2-3 things that helped all of us make sense of what was happening. One, I have to say, is the role of his friends. The unconditional support of his, I think, childhood friends, or I don't know, wherever they joined in his journey. Every evening at around 10 o'clock, they used to have something that my daughter named the Lukha call. Okay, and 10 of them would come on, I think, Google Meet or whatever.
That was
else.
COVID time.
It was also COVID time.
So Google Meet.
So Google Meet या जो भी करते थे, and they would talk rubbish. They would one day be narrating some poetry, the next day they are pulling someone's leg on why that person is wearing what he's wearing, and life would just go on and go past. So that was one thing that I saw, which was incredible to see how these dukkhas, as we now call them, came together to do nothing with each other, and that was a healing experience in its own right. I think the other thing was, like, I was by then living with them and so on, living back again with them. I think very clear for us is, like, if someone cannot sleep in the night, we'll all cuddle up together. वो बेड कितना भी बड़ा हो छोटा हो, हम लोग सब एक बिस्तर में सोते हैं. And that is just amazing. It's so.
There's a strength in that.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's a strength in that which you can't explain. You have to experience or live in some sense. हम लोग बस एक साथ में सो जाते हैं. That's what we do a lot, and I genuinely think that we've been very lucky that we've not heard the taunts. We've heard other things, but we've not heard the taunts. Otherwise, it's quite unforgiving, no? Like,
Yeah, of course.
world is unforgiving. So,
But what I'm trying to understand is, okay, let's go back to you guys as a family, pre anything, pre like all of this success, pre the crumble, pre the rebuilding, all of that. What was childhood like? What was, her growing up in front of your eyes, you growing up in front of him? What was that feeling? What was a regular day? Is there a childhood memory that you want to share with me, that you came back from school and this happened or that happened? Something that you remember starkly, and then after that something that you remember starkly.
I mean, for me, my childhood memory is, like, as a child, I couldn't sleep till he was home. That was my memory, and he used to travel a lot. So for me, it was just important for him to come home. I had the same memory. Like, he still does this to my daughter now. He doesn't do it to me, thankfully. I've grown up enough. He presses our leg when we are sleeping.
How sweet.
Yeah. So he'll press my daughter's leg even now when we're sleeping. So that's my most favorite memory.
So I mean, like, that is something unheard of.
Yeah. I think he's done it with me, he's done it with Avni, and now he's doing it with Ashni.
How sweet.
Yeah.
Like, I would think that someone, like, sometimes, when your parent is that successful and working so much throughout your teenage years, they're a bit absent because they're traveling a lot and they have to build the company or the future, or they're working 9 to 5. But if they make up for it in these kind of ways.
Yeah, and I always feel like, for us, like, it was a continuum, genuinely. Like, stores, discussions on the dining table, like, you must have seen that even recently. It's always been the same. We're talking about customers, we're talking about which store, what is happening, what are new trends we are seeing, अब इसका आगे क्या करें. हमारा कोई लेना देना नहीं है उसके साथ, फिर भी हम we talk
You
about
like
that.
to discuss
We
all
talk
that.
about that.
Nice.
So that's what we did even back then. That's what we do even now. That's what our average day is like, in some sense.
So you're giving me the sense of a very normal, loving family. So from you?
I think going for a drive every evening and taking the children and
Yeah,
listening
used to
to
do that
music.
too.
My favorite music.
Yeah.
Which is?
Mohammed Rafi.
All the songs. It's from 60s, 70s to whatever was popular then.
So just detouring for a second, if your life was to be a song, one song, what would that song be?
That song is that famous Mohammed Rafi song, मैं जिंदगी का साथ निभाता चला गया. That's a life anthem, yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So from a father's POV, when you're seeing her now grow up to be this, entrepreneur, businesswoman, all of these things that she's doing, what are your thoughts about letting go of control? Like, you often feel that with the younger generation that.
Good question.
So in a way, the control what they are doing in the new business is what they are doing. So in fact, my role is now to provide them whatever they want to know more, rather than me telling them what to do. So that's a big shift. Very,
But does
very
it
big
actually
shift.
happen that
They
way?
don't work under me anymore. So that's a big shift.
But still, like if your dad is this person that you are, like this person who's ran Future Group, all of these, Kishore Biyani, Retail King, you will feel the shadow.
I think they must be feeling it a little bit. They will worry about what I'm thinking of what they are doing, but I'm not so much involved, to be honest. And I can only advise them what not to do and what to do, and they draw upon me whenever they need to. So I think we are building a relationship which is now coming alive, I would say, that they draw upon me on anything rather than me telling them what to do.
And it's not easy to kind of work with your family members.
Yeah, it's
It's
not
not.
easy, for sure, because there's more at stake, right? You go back home to the same people also, so it's not.
And there's a personal, professional, like a mix. There's an interlink. Like if you're a little bit upset about something that happened at home, it can come out as frustration in work.
Yeah, but see, for us, that's always been a part of life, right? So that is not as much of a struggle to distill between the personal and work. I'm telling you, even now, it's a continuum. You know, work and everything that is happening and life is seamlessly happening. So that is what our model of life is to some extent.
I like it. Model of life.
Yeah, we have an interesting take on life.
Please, I'd love to hear this.
I think interesting take on life is like very recently I wrote to myself that life is a series of events, and there will be some great events, there will be some good events, there will be not so good events, and face every event, and it will pass on. Nothing is permanent, and no hardship is going to be permanent, and no good things are going to last forever.
Do you know his theory of time pass or not?
No.
Maybe you should ask.
What is your theory of time pass?
So I wrote it in my book long time back when I wrote it, that we human beings take our life too seriously. We are a speck in the whole universe, the cosmos. We have only imagination, which is special to us as a species, and we have consciousness. And we imagine everything, we debate it, but life is just a time pass. You have been allotted 70 years, 75 years or 80 years. We are all doing something to do time pass. So I'm doing time pass with you today. And we all want this to become meaningful.
Sure.
And otherwise, how will we survive? Otherwise,
We have to find some meaning.
we'll be mentally unwell.
Yeah.
So we'll have to find a purpose in life. We have to find a reason. But ultimately, it's all time pass.
Fair
So
enough.
it's a very profound statement. Somebody who understands it, they always call me up after many days and talks about this time pass theory.
No, but this is the sort of awakening that you kind of get when you go through like major life
No, he had
trauma.
this
this
Oh,
was
you had it from before.
Yeah, this was forever.
This
And
he
we-
said, like, why do you take it so serious? If you go to him with like a thing ki mere saath aaj ye ho gaya, one event, the next will happen, move on.
That is true. But even if we know these things, तो when you're going through तो ऐसा लगता ही है कि still you feel कि it's सब कुछ मेरे सर पे टूट गया है.
That's where the problem starts. It's nothing special is happening with you.
Nothing is special. Sir.
सबके साथ कुछ ना कुछ हो रहा है.
You are not that special. Basically, he's telling
Basically,
us
you're
that.
not that special.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's great upbringing. I wanted to understand, since you said that, yes, I see that there's a bit of control, that I know he's not agreeing to the fact that there is a bit of control. Is there any philosophy or belief that he lives by or he works using that philosophy that you kind of have a disagreement with, a contradictory view on?
Yeah, there are lots.
There are lots?
There are lots and we discuss it, debate it. Like, he has a thing कि जो कोई आ गया उसके साथ में कुछ काम कर लो. Like when we are like looking for people, we are finding people, like we'll do it very methodically. ये हमको ऐसा चाहिए, वैसा चाहिए. He'll say, पहला आदमी आ गया ना, उसे कर लो. So intuitively it doesn't make sense to me. It may make sense to him, but I can't do it.
You can't.
And I can't do it.
You have to feel that person is right for the job or connect with that person.
I have to feel what I have to feel about working with a certain person. But he's far more, I think, I'm saying far more allowing in that sense.
No, I think that they don't understand the subject, what I'm trying to say.
no.
The subject is
What do you understand?
subject is training people on decision making. So I remember the कहानी. It was बचपन में कहानी थी. एक राजा था, उसकी एक डॉटर होती है.
This is a very bad कहानी.
वो कभी शादी करने को तैयार ही नहीं थी. तो राजा ने एक दिन तंग आके बोल दिया कि नेक्स्ट डे सुबह जो पहला आदमी मिलेगा उससे शादी करा दूंगा. So I think decisions in life are, what are the options of decision making? Yes, no, or maybe. So there are only 3 options, and so you will never be wrong by 50% because yes or no is majority of the answer. So what is the problem in taking a decision?
Especially if this is the kahani, there is many things wrong in taking the decision.
Yeah,
right?
there's many things
But
wrong.
राजा इतना बेवकूफ थोड़ा है कि कोई भी पहला आदमी को he can play around with it and get the right man here.
I think he's not caring about the nuances. I feel like in this generation, we want to know everything.
No, I think this generation can't take good decisions.
No, I
Can't
think
take good decisions.
No.
See,
Or
I'll tell you
are
something.
indecisive.
Are indecisive.
Yeah, he thinks we are indecisive, which is okay.
We are.
But मुझे तो like I want to do things when I understand them fully, na. I am not. See, also he did so many things. I'm doing few things. I'm gonna do them damn bloody well. At least I think so.
Fair enough.
At least I think so, and I believe so. अब पता नहीं वो how much we are doing it, but that's the way I see it.
So this is obviously a debate and a conversation that happens between all. Me and my dad have it, you and your dad have it. They feel that we don't decide, we think too much, we overthink. We feel like ये तो किसी के साथ भी. They are just like, come on, let's go.
Yeah.
What are the other things like this that you don't agree with?
So, like, you know, I think it's just a generational thing, for example. But he has a problem if I am eating my diet ka khana. Very lame. But I don't eat dinner with him now because I'll catch you after dinner, and I eat dinner early. I can't eat dinner at 8:39 like him and so on, yeah. And like he's like, why can't you eat this? Why can't you eat that? I can't. It doesn't work for me.
So he wants you to eat normal khana.
हाँ, normal खाओ.
कि मेरी बेटी ये सब क्यों नहीं खा रही है? Why is she?
Like, why are you being so fussy? Why is it such a problem? Then he calls it a chemical locha. You have this chemical locha, and I'm like, it's not a locha. It just doesn't work for me.
And so, what are the things that you're seeing now that she's handling the reins of the business? Obviously, there is a part of you that wants to be like, "Arey, left nahi, right jao. Arey, ye nahi wo."
So one of our friends, actually, we have a friend who is 50-year-old, so he's in between. He's friend to her and friend to me also. So he told me something. He went through a certain journey, which was where his father relinquished everything to him one day, and he explained that entire journey of decent-sized business. And one day his father said, "आज से तुम देखोगे, मैं कुछ नहीं देखूंगा, मैं ऑफिस भी नहीं आऊंगा."
Oh God,
So that has inspired me a lot, and I'm trying to do similar thing. But I've not taken that. One day I'll not come to your office, and not you can't. So, but I think we have reached there.
you've reached a comfortable-ish.
Yeah.
I think.
By design, by default, by compulsion, I think by all means.
Yeah, and I feel we're really lucky to be building with wisdom, right? I think it's so rare to find, you know, a certain level of wisdom that no amount of energy can replace, right? So
I
to
agree.
just build with wisdom, and luckily I also feel like in this time period now we got a lot of wisdom. जब वो chapter 1 का breakdown, then the breakdown happened, got so much wisdom, and that's why he wrote to himself, and you know it all sort of got more clearer. The clarity is more important than smartness is where one is at now.
Fair enough.
So
And I think it comes back down to from clarity, you can make better decisions once you know your priorities.
yeah.
That's why you can find the right person on the next day morning. Yeah.
So basically now,
No, you still
if
can't.
anyone wants to get married, they can just marry the first person. This is the only advice from Kishore Biyani sir that you all must not take. All other business advice we will take. So okay, so I was really excited to do this today because as you all know, as I have told you all, I have a really small startup called Chapter 2 that me and my brother Shovik have started. And it's clothing, it's apparel, it's D2C. Very excited to sit with you all and ask you all a million questions that we would like to ask. So, sir, first thing is for you. How does a small company scale do's and don'ts?
I think I've seen the product, I've seen the brand, I've seen something about. I think the brand resonates. The brand comes together. The personality of the brand is reflected in the clothing and the apparel which you have done. So, plus I think the category which you are in, which is a bridge to street, is a category which probably is replacing the casual wear category that's doing quite well. So a lot of things are right.
Things are right.
So you need somebody like us who can be what you call to give me some free equity for some advice.
I would love to give you equity,
Yeah.
but potentially not free. Potentially discounted.
I don't have money to give. She has money to
Should
give.
we turn this into a pitch then?
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
Okay, so would you be interested in coming on board for Chapter 2? We have started in August 15 of last year, and as of Jan and February, where we sit, we're at 50 lakh revenue a month, EBITDA positive, and we have also made a profit of 6-7 lakhs on each month. We're looking to grow and scale to maybe 1 crore revenue in the next 2 to 3 months, 15 to 20% every month. And we're looking to open our own retail store on this very linking road very soon, like in a month or so. So, since Sir had a very wise idea and you are the one with the money, let me ask you, would you be interested in coming on board?
I would. I just have one question maybe. Like, what is more important to you? Just scale or,
Making money.
making money.
Scale or making money?
Yeah. What would you choose if you had to?
Both, now.
But if you had to choose one, there will become a point where you'll have to sometime, somewhere, maybe make a choice.
I personally, I'm an army officer's daughter. I've lived on a debit card my whole life. I don't like jitni charger, utna pair. But I do understand you need to take a little bit of risk every now and then to grow the brand. Having said that, I want to sleep well at night. I don't want to have debt. I want to have EBITDA positive on my books. I want to have some amount of profitability. Tomorrow, if the market sinks, if the world economy crashes, if consumption falls down,
Correct.
I should be still in a good place with my business. I should be able to pay my employees. I should have that run rate for the next 3 to 6 months.
Good, you've already learned everything we did from chapter 1. So yes, we should
तो बोलो
talk.
कितना stake, कितना पैसा?
So, I mean, personally, we're looking to raise 1 crore of rupees. Since we're already doing 50 lakhs a month, we would be happy to give 8% for 1
10%
crore.
and we have a deal.
10% free money?
Yeah.
Chalo, okay.
Yes, we have a deal!
Congratulations.
Oh my God, congratulations to us. Wow, this podcast has just turned into something else. How exciting. I need to call my brother and tell him. I should call more sharks and entrepreneurs on my podcast.
You'll raise money very quickly.
So she learned decision making today.
That was
देखो
a quick
पहला जो आया
So
दे
पहला
दिया।
जो मिल लिया. Decision making is so simple. You have to like a person. You have to like the product category, the sector which you understand a bit. Take a decision.
Wow, one second, I still
And
can't
your
believe.
podcasts are getting 5-6 lakh views. धंधा हो जाएगा.
Yeah, and we'll write all that down.
I did not-
Rhea
I-
needs to wear it this way.
The deliverables.
Yeah. We'll
Well,
put
I'm
that on.
always
Yeah,
wearing
you're
chapter
always
2. I
wearing
always
it.
live in it.
Yeah.
But this is crazy. I didn't expect this morning when I woke up and I was like, okay, I'm going to meet these people. I have so many questions to ask about business, how to run a brand. I never thought that I'm going to actually get funding from you guys. This is so exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. We still have a podcast to do. I do have some more questions for you all about business. So with the coming in of AI, right, which I personally don't understand that well. I know everyone is scrambling around to figure out कि AI से क्या होगा. आपको क्या लगता है in the next couple of years क्या बदलेगा? What will change for D2C brands and what is the future of retail businesses in India?
Yesterday, NVIDIA announced their results and they were talking about, they released some product around retail. And it was all about personalization. How can one create a personalized journey? So if I know you through media, through your comments, how can AI help you to personalize your outfit, personalize what you should wear for what hour of the day, what event? I think personalization will become big with AI as it goes deeper and deeper. So that's one big shift which I see happening. Secondly, I'm seeing experiences taking a big role in retail environment. A normal commodity buy, anybody can buy on a quick commerce, you can buy by calling up somebody or e-commerce, or it's available. So why will you go to a particular outlet or a store? So there has to be a reason. Unless you don't get that experience of, at least it should stimulate some part of your brain. It should affect you through smell, through touch, or all the experiences, all the 5 senses, at least 3 of the senses have to be invoked.
So it cannot be a basic retail store
You
anymore.
can't.
No one is
way.
interested.
No way.
कुछ ऑनलाइन खरीद सकते हैं तो
कुछ भी हो सकता है. तो experiences will become a big role. Personalization is a big thing, and some more technologies will come in. But I think these two things are going to be much bigger.
is that scary for us?
Not at all.
No.
Not at all. I think
We will imbibe-
human beings are the most adaptable creature in a way. You have dealt with pressure and life in a very different way. So one get used to it, na?
Yeah, no, I'm good with pressure, but I'm just not good with AI. I'm just like,
But we will
what's
all
going to happen?
But we all-
adapt like we adapted to the.
But you are using a mobile phone, you are using WhatsApp, so what was that then? But AI will bring in their agents. You will have a house agent, you will have your shopping agent, and you tell your shopping agent what you want, and they will deliver.
So the human resources that we require to run a brand will probably decrease.
We don't know about what will happen. Maybe there will be more activities which will come about. Maybe human beings will become more smarter. They will do more things. Some things will be done by the machines.
I think the need for creative humans will really grow. To push ourselves more creatively.
More
is going to
philosophically
be-
also.
Yeah.
Philosophically, like, I mean, even right now, one of my preconditions to hire someone is that their answer should be better than the chat GPT answer.
Yeah,
Because everyone can give you a
That's
chat,
why, but you have already changed. You already
Yeah.
risen above a certain level.
but chat GPT is bloody damn good.
Don't tell them more. She'll increase the valuation.
No, the done deal is a done deal. Yes. What about quick commerce?
Quick commerce is changing the rules of the game, the rules of engagement, the rules of. I think they're changing the kitchen habits of the consumer. People are not storing earlier. When we created Big Bazaar, people used to buy bulks. We used to sell packs of 10, 12, large packs. That was the market which we created. Because people used to come in cars and they had to fill up the boots. Look at the way the world has changed.
Yeah.
So people are buying only for the next 2 days or 1 day. They are making a recipe and calling for stuff. So the world is totally different. Everything is available in 10 minutes. So,
Yeah. But I had read your thesis, the India 1, India 2 thesis, and to understand, what is the consumer world like. But with the coming of quick commerce, like brands like apparel, at least we take time. Like today I can deliver same day in Bombay, but I cannot deliver
But
same
apparel
day
is
in Delhi.
not a category where you want it at that moment unless there is a specific occasion for which you are missing something.
So you don't think it's a...
I don't think so. I think we are taking it too far. Secondly, you can't create warehouses and dark stores which can deliver in 10 minutes and hoard and stock
And
so much.
sizes and hoard and
because
inventory.
it's not possible because it has to be a fast turning around stock. So people are creating some master warehouses, then the satellite warehouses. People are creating a lot of ideas, but I don't see it going so much deeper in India too also, and I'm not seeing it going wider in categories like
Actually,
fashion
for
as
my
much.
viewers, since we are talking about India 1 and India 2, would you just care to explain India 1 and India 2?
India 1, like we said, is the consuming class of India. People who consume more than 100,000 items in their lifetime, they are consumers. They are around 10% of the population of India, and they live in apartments. They have a four-wheeler, and anybody who has a domestic help is India 1 for me. India 2 are the people who make our life better. India 1, with the domestic help, the driver, the peon, the watchman, the liftman. There is a lot of people who facilitate our life to lead our life better. And then there is India 3, which is the struggling class, the farm laborers.
They're
factory
struggling to get
workers.
3 square meals a day necessary.
And basic living. India 3 consumes maybe 10,000 items in their lifetime. And most of the around weddings, they consume more of the items. India 2 is becoming aspirational. They consume around maybe 10, 20,000 items in their lifetime. India 1 consumes like anybody else in the world. So there is a 3 distinct India in terms of consumption. And India is a unique country, 7 major religions. We are 6,400 caste and subcaste. We celebrate 72 major festivals every year. We're the most heterogeneous country in the whole world. So it makes the markets interesting and it makes India interesting.
On an average, we have around 181 days when India can fast. Wo Ekadashi and all that counted for. 181 days on an average India fast. But for us, fast doesn't mean fast. We also feast along with
You
fast.
can eat makhana. in a
Makhana,
fast.
yeah.
Yeah, makhana is fast.
Fast.
Yeah. But I really enjoyed this thesis because when I was thinking of starting a brand, otherwise it's so confusing. Like you said, India is so vast and there's so many different religions. There's so every वो बोलते हैं ना हर 6 एकड़ के बाद पानी बदल जाता है और भाषा भी बदल जाती है, वो बदल जाता है इंडिया में. So who are you catering to?
Yeah.
So this thesis was very easy to understand. Okay, are you making a T-shirt for India 1, India 2 or India 3?
No, we have broken up India 1 further into
Yeah?
Singapore, Poland and Mexico.
Correct.
So Singapore is around 55 lakh, 60 lakh people, as much as what Singapore has. Similar GDP. They are 15% of India's GDP, this 50 lakh people.
And who are they?
This 50 lakh people, you know, I would say 100,000 of them minimum. We all know them.
We all know them.
They attend all the weddings and
Correct.
they are part of the Bombay Times or all the social reels.
Right.
And Viral Biyani or anybody covers them up. And India, then there is Poland, which is another 3.5 crore people who are rich people having surplus incomes, and they can't aspire to be India. India 1, Singapore is a different crowd only, and then there is India. Then there is Mexico in India 1, which is around 8.5 crore people living in apartments, having domestic help, but still surviving on EMIs.
So
Want to
there,
give
for
the
them,
best.
consumption is still on EMIs. Education is seen as the biggest lever to upgrade and make the next leap in life happen. And for Poland, a lot of what Poland does comes from what Singapore does. So they copy a lot of what Singapore does,
And
but
they
maybe
love,
lesser occasions.
they want to know what Singapore is doing.
Yeah, they are the ones who are also stalking you.
It's even giving me a little bit of Delhi versus Bombay. But yeah, I get it.
But very similar. Then there is India 2. I think the next generation of India 2 is now getting into modern consumption. So
Yeah.
that will make India interesting.
But I feel that's where like India 1, like the third level that you explained, is probably where quick commerce really comes in, because you don't have disposable income of that level where you can order everything in bulk, but you do make enough money to order what you want when you want it.
But quick commerce works better
In apartments, in density
apartments
areas.
and in density areas.
In dense areas, because you can't provide to everybody and anybody.
And all the dark store needs to have at least some number of orders a day. So
Yeah.
that's a big thing for them. Unless they don't get 1,500, 1,600 orders, the dark store doesn't become profitable.
So quick commerce is something we don't have to worry about. You've been in, you understand consumer behavior and branding and marketing a lot from the conversations we've had and the work that you do. What is the one consumer behavior that you find really bizarre?
So right now, for example, we work with the top 0.4% of India at Food Stories, for example. So Food Stories is a premium gourmet platform. We sell physically and also digitally as well. One of the things that surprised me and amazed me is how there is a new ingredient trend happening every 2 months. And the trickling of that trend is just fascinating for me, right? Like, so for example, matcha is a Japanese product, very fine, subtle taste. Today, I can tell you, I can take you into streets of Jaipur where there are small chai places, they serve matcha, right? I'm just amazed with how ingredient trends trickle down so fast into mass trends in some sense. But one thing that we've learned doing Food Stories is that this Singapore or this 0.4% of India, there is finally a space like us where they feel they belong and they should shop in the way in which we serve
They
them.
relate to the place because they feel that has been created for them, and they want exclusivity, they want privacy.
So for us, it's more about privacy. It is about relationship-based selling. It's about personalization, like you mentioned. We would know what our ex-customer would like and will buy next. So that's a very important part of it for us. And the other thing is also very importantly, consistently giving them this quality and this service both.
And you're saying that then trickles down to, like,
Yes.
if matcha comes in, matcha goes down.
Yeah.
If some kind of honey comes in, it soon becomes a thing.
Yeah.
And that's quite strange, right?
And therefore, for us, the attempt is always to understand what is the next status mark, what is the next vanity driver. So that is the new project that we are doing now.
How interesting.
Yeah, that's very exciting.
I feel like I'm going to be a fly in the wall in all of these.
Come next week, we're doing
100%. Oh, now you're my investor. So
next week, we'll chat.
along with the funding, I'm also demanding time of both of you all.
So
For
we'll chat.
that, I take another 10%.
For you for free. So I also want to ask you, since we're also looking to go into retail as a brand, I understood you said, make it experiential, make it like 5 senses, 6 senses, something more than just selling. But is there a particular trend that you see outside of this that no one's paying enough attention to in retail?
Yeah, a lot. I think most of the, like fashion is a very impermanent business. This style or this particular fashion type might not survive maybe another 1.5 years, another 2 years. So how do you design something, a brand or a business which will be metamorphosizing every time? And how are you going to be up for it? Because we all make mistakes on our successes. And our success, you would get success on this product, but you will always believe this will sell and this will not sell.
You can never know.
No, this will not sell. After a particular point, you have to make them
change.
die.
You have to ensure you destroy yourself before you get destroyed.
Oh wow.
So destruction is a part of creation.
Yeah.
And you have to be okay to let go of everything that brought you success so
Absolutely.
far
Correct,
and everything
correct.
that you understood.
Correct.
I mean, I am nowhere there where I am still very lost and confused. I'm like, oh, t-shirts are selling very good, very good. This month we had so many sales. Okay, I want to ask you all some quick questions. Should be quite fun. Each one about the other one, but
Oh.
you can care to answer for each other also. Ashni's favorite childhood memory.
Being in a car with me and listening to music.
I'd agree to that.
Accurate. Sir's most used business phrase.
इसमें क्या है?
इसमें क्या है? Love that. Correct?
No, I think some people commented that I use the word don't play tiku tiku, don't play
Don't
slowly.
be tick.
But इसमें क्या है is his favorite word with me.
Okay, fair.
If you go to him with a problem, he'll say इसमें क्या है?
One thing that's always in his pocket outside his mobile.
Only the mobile phone.
Nothing else.
Thing है.
खाली हाथ आए हैं, खाली हाथ जाएं.
हाँ, he barely even carries his wallet.
Okay. I hope he's carried his checkbook today. One business decision Ashni made that you were or are still skeptical about.
I'm proud about some decisions she took. We created something called a Big Bazaar Family Center. And the amount of work and research they did in understanding the community, the consumption patterns, the categories, I think it was a path-breaking work.
And skeptical about?
Most other things besides that.
You all are saying very nice things about each other.
No, other things besides that.
Everything besides that he's skeptical.
So only the business decision you're happy about.
No, I think she is a good thinker. And she thinks much better than me. And she processes things much, much more differently than me. So in terms of taking, I take her help in taking decisions around human beings and people also. Because sometimes I'm very different.
Impulsive.
I'm very impulsive also.
And her emotional intelligence is higher.
Maybe.
Potentially, because you're a woman, I get that. Who is more likely amongst the two of you to say yes to a risky business idea?
Oh, there's no chance anyone else.
It's him.
Of course.
Who's more likely to splurge like on a luxury item?
For us, not for himself. For
No,
us.
for just splurge on it. Doesn't matter for whom.
I think he.
He?
My sister actually.
Your sister? Mom, no?
No.
Who has better bargaining skills?
He doesn't bargain only.
I don't have any bargaining skills. I have good negotiation skills.
Okay, negotiation.
My bargaining and negotiation is two very different things.
Please explain.
So bargaining is basically bargaining commercially at the price. Negotiating is negotiating in a way where everybody wins. The consumer wins, you win, I win. And that's a great, I believe very few people have learned this art.
The art of negotiation.
The art of negotiation where everybody wins. Because otherwise it's a zero sum. Somebody has to lose for somebody to win. So how do you make everybody feel they have won?
So clearly he is the better negotiator.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. Okay, who's better at crisis management, personal, professional, both, amongst the two of you?
Him. He's.
No, I think she's learned a lot.
No, but I feel like, and here it's sounding a bit like a mutual admiration society or a club, but.
Oh, such a sweet father
I
and
know,
daughter.
it's
They
just
just
too
love
much.
everything about each other.
But you've seen the other side of it, but.
No, I've handled crisis all my life in
Yeah.
a way. So we have seen crisis of all kinds managed. I think managed a large family ecosystem, vendor, suppliers, people working with us, investors. So huge ecosystem.
You know, when we were going through that turmoil phase, like I mentioned, Once he must have seen me shaky or doubtful, कि अब कैसे करेंगे? How are we going to restart? They never let anyone get to you. And that is a great crisis management idea.
Yeah, anybody sees your vulnerability, you're gone.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. In a business.
In a business, sure.
Otherwise, human beings are human beings.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
it's I believe it's a superpower to be vulnerable.
No, vulnerable at times.
But yeah, with the
You
right
have to
people,
choose who you have
the
to be
people are
vulnerable
very
with.
important.
Yeah.
Okay, if sir you had to start a new business today, okay, from scratch, zero money, and you have to go out there and pitch, what would that business be?
I would, actually, we were talking about it yesterday only. It's basically building an advisory mentorship equity model. Being mentor to many entrepreneurs and taking advisory sweat equity from them.
I think that's a great business.
Yeah, but I think we have made so many mistakes, so much of understanding we have made out of doing so many things. I think it can be a great, and secondly, we are much wiser, like she said now. We have made most number of mistakes. We can exactly tell what not to do. And when I look at product, brand, new launches, new people I meet, new entrepreneurs I meet, I can really see where they are heading.
Where do you think majority of new entrepreneurs are going wrong?
Everybody makes the same mistake in the
Which
same
is?
phase of life. I think everybody wants to make big businesses.
business.
I think that's the biggest mistake everybody makes.
Like trying to scale too fast?
No scale. There is a particular market for every business. Now, if you are imagining your business, chapter 2 can become 1,000 crores in 5 years, it can't become.
It can't be.
So you have to be practical about it. Unless I don't morph myself or change myself, it can't become 1,000. On the particular line of clothing, particular style, you will become a 200, 300, 400 crore business. It can't become a 1,000 crore. But people imagine, I'll come with an IPO, I'll go global, I will do this. I don't
Everyone
understand
wants
that.
to go into an IPO today.
And everybody wants to go global. And I believe going global means the start of a recipe of a disaster.
Why do you say that?
But who is your customer? You're connected you have created a product for an Indian market, and now you want a Westerner or foreigners to wear it. It's very difficult. For an
Do you
Indian
think
audience,
that thought has changed a little bit amongst Indian consumers? That it's not necessary कि international brand is only good?
no, hoga. That doesn't mean that you can take your brand global.
That doesn't mean that it will work. The brand will work.
That doesn't mean
there.
it will work, but it needs a lot of effort to be
See,
successful.
finally, a brand is a cultural resonating idea, right? And what is that cultural resonating idea in each societal context is going to vary.
But there would be some brand who can be successful, but not everybody who can think I'll go global or I'll do this or I'll do
But
that.
you know the thought, because I sit with so many like startup founders and people who are just entering the business, different businesses like me, and it's always like, I want to take my brand to Dubai because then when I bring it to India, it's like international brand India mein aaya.
But that's vanity.
You know?
That's not business. That's a talking point in a societal circle or a society. That's not business.
But this is probably where you're saying
The
brands are
wisdom matters
going
and-
wrong.
I think business is a very, very serious thing. And you can't approach anything casually.
So every little spike is a problem. Like I feel like what happens with a lot of young founders, and I'm in a circle of those, is someone tells you one thing and you think, okay, now this is what I need to do. If someone else tells you something, it's like, okay, now this is what I need to do. So like, it's very important to kind of have like, what is it that you want to do for your brand? Not what this one is saying or that one is saying. Because there are 2 different, 3 different, 5 different worlds of thinking as to how to grow a
Yeah,
brand.
but we have designed a very interesting management model, which I keep on pointing out to them that first comes the strategy, then comes the design, third comes the execution. So most of the startups, they straight away get into execution. Without a strategy and design, you can't get into execution. Strategy is what is the market size, whatever you talk about strategy, how are you going to do it, and then design is designing an organization, designing your service standards, designing your processes. So you need a design intervention everywhere you go about, and then comes execution. And execution and optimization is a new thing about how do you execute and how do you optimize for everything what you have created. But strategy is all about creation, and that's where people don't spend so much of time. I see so many brands not working on the strategy, the brand definition, the market, the understanding of the whole cohorts of customer. So you can't fast pace this. It will take its own time.
Everyone, I think nowadays being an entrepreneur is cool.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone wants to be an entrepreneur, and some of our common friends have made that word very cool.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, let's just become an entrepreneur. Like every second person,
But
I
that's
mean,
good.
क्या है,
In a
brand
way-
शुरू कर रहा हूँ,
but
brand
in a-
शुरू कर रही हूँ.
But for the first time in India, I've been in business for the last nearly 40 years now. And first time in India, you have an idea money is available. So you can't get a better time than this. Today you got money, so great.
Yeah, I had a great day. I feel like I need to go and celebrate with my brother. Okay, we'll take a break and we'll come back. Some apparel from chapter 2.
Thank you, thank you. Wow, this is a lot.
So who is designing it is good, yeah.
So basically, we have a whole young team of like 20-year-olds.
You really wearing this in city?
Yeah. Come on, let's roll immediately.
How old do you think you are?
So cool. That is so cool. I need to send a picture to my brother. He's going to be so excited. Okay, but now that we're back, you're in chapter 2 drip. This is a moment. This is a moment. I don't know why I'm
Yeah, you're
more
pitching your
excited.
brand all wrong. I'm letting you know.
I
As
think
now
this is
you're
brand
wrong.
ambassador.
your
Wrong
most
audience.
recent
Wrong
investor.
audience.
This is complete wrong audience.
This is the best audience. My brother's going to be so excited
No,
first
but
this.
only for, not for the cohort of your customers.
Oh, sir, you have no idea.
Anyway,
This is aspirational. This is real life aspirational.
when I grow old, I'll wear this.
You will be our brand ambassador for chapter 2.
He belongs to the philosophy for sure, but ये कपड़े पहनोगे तो
But that's all that matters. Actually, it's the philosophy that matters. It's what you think and how you feel that matters. But speaking about brand ambassador, actually, I have a very interesting question to ask you. Do you think that celebrity-led brands, like, can they work? Do they work? Is that kind of fading out today? Is there a fine line? Is there a particular way of marketing the brand that may still give us the benefit of the celebrity but not the con of the celebrity?
I am a big believer of celebrity-led brands.
Really?
Crazy believer. And all our life we build brands out of celebrity, starting with Mark Wahlberg, Steve O, Hensi Cronier, then Jadeja, Sachin, everyone from cricketers, Mahendra Singh
Hema
Dhoni.
Malini. Hema Malini.
Hema Malini also one of the brand yes. And then many artists. And
Dhoni.
Dhoni also.
Dhoni, of course.
Many, most of them. I would say Aishwarya Rai's first film, Sushmita, well, everybody. Somewhere or the other, we were there.
So you have to know this. So I think I was like 8 or 9. They used to do fashion shows back then. It was a thing, yeah. And I remember going for these fashion shows where Sushmita and Ash and all used to walk the ramp, and no one knew them as them, what they are, what they became, but it was such a big thing in the city. I was like, wow, we are doing something huge, but there was no idea where this huge is going, what it's resulting into. So I remember it from the very fashion show days.
No, we were the first one to do scripted fashion shows with story inbuilt.
Oh, wow.
And that was very unique. And that worked very well that time. So anyway, that was a journey.
different
But I still
generation.
strongly believe in celebrity-led brands. I believe if the brand persona of that celebrity is imbibed into the brand, the chances of success is more than 90%.
But very few celebrities, unfortunately, today, because
No,
of
but they
PR,
are-
have a personality.
Everybody has something.
No, it's not coming through, I feel.
You have to
But then you have to get the product category fit, right?
So the way we work is we look at the product category and then see which celebrity can fit in into that product category with that positioning which you want. And that works. That always works. So when we did a brand along with Dhoni, we said, Desh Badla, Besh Badlo. We wanted to create a mass movement of clothing revolution in the country, and it worked crazily well for FBB. FBB became the largest selling brand.
Correct.
So Desh Badla, Besh Badlo. So, and Dhoni was changing the world
Changed with
that
the
time.
times. And with every look that Dhoni changed in his hair, everyone started doing it.
Yeah, so it's all about the brand personality. So I remember we wanted to create a market in the East, and we always used two celebrities, one for the northern market and one for the eastern market. So we used Bipasha for the eastern market, and for the northern market we had Bobby Deol at that point of time.
Yeah, Bobby Deol.
Yeah.
Who was also living in chapter 2, actually.
Yeah.
Pantaloon, yeah, that time. So we have always used celebrities to make our point known.
And today as well, when you're doing
I think today is the best time.
Yeah, like Super You is a brand out of Think9. It's with Ranveer. And I think RS is everything Super You
It's
is.
perfect.
It's just like a fit in the glove thing.
it blends.
Yeah, and he believes so much in the idea of protein and the idea of actually super energy, right? He is really that.
He's
and
always got
he's
energy,
always
yeah.
that person, and it's the expression of the brand as well. And
Having said that, there are few and few people
But that's
who are
where we
like
come in,
Ranveer.
no? That's where we come in. We are the brand doctors.
To
No,
pick-
I think it's very important to understand because the customer can see through everything.
Okay, so if I was to do a jewelry brand today, a lab-grown jewelry brand, which Indian celebrity would you say fits the brand?
You need a beautiful face and you need a... I personally believe lab-grown diamond should be built on some new idea. And
You're
that-
saying beyond the product, the brand identity is where you're going to connect
Totally,
the person.
Correct.
Ah, I see that.
So
but on
if
that,
you
I
are-
would take a South icon. like a
or
Nayantara
if you want to
something.
change the gold market.
Yeah, Nayantara
If you want
would
to
be
change the
fab.
gold market.
If
Yeah.
you want to...
And you feel like people still watch celebrities on these hoardings and
Totally,
these ads
totally,
and then buy?
Yeah.
Totally.
Oh, yes.
Totally.
But even on social media, na, everyone's story is what we're always sharing.
I do think, like for our brand, obviously I'm not that big a celebrity, but just being a little known,
Yeah.
it gives you a bigger boost,
Kick off.
a
yeah.
kickstart. Everybody knows suddenly that
Yeah.
that discoverability is
Yeah,
there.
100%.
And then it kind of depends on you and how you can take the
Correct.
brand for any brand.
yeah.
So big believer.
Big believer.
Mm.
Great, sir. Then we have you as the celebrity on chapter 2. So
I told you, beware.
no, but I'm telling you, this is the best form of marketing because you rather get people who are actually chapter 2
Yeah,
than not.
true that. True that.
Since future is a term that you really understand, I wanted to do a future prediction of certain brands. I'll give a few brand names and you'll have to predict from 0 to 10 how big these brands are going to be or how well they'll do. 0 being the lowest, 10 being the highest.
You are getting into
Troublesome.
something, you know.
Okay, so future predictions of the following brands, 0 being the lowest that it won't succeed and 10 being the highest likelihood of succession. Okay. Louis Vuitton,
9,
9. Prada,
8,
Gucci,
6,
11.
11, 8.
8. You're all being very nice. I feel like I'm
No,
gonna.
because we have been following these brands.
You've been following one of these brands. Soul Store,
7,
Blue Orange,
6.5, 7,
Hermes,
10,
10. So branding on point. Then we better be case studying Hermes. Louis Vuitton,
9.
chapter 2.
100.
Now it better work. Now it better work. Ashni's like, my money is going into this brand.
No, I think since we are involved, though, that will be a good chance.
Oh, yes, of course, you're a brand ambassador as well. Okay, I wanted to ask you all some questions, like I have been. So, for you, if the future group never existed, you had never created this, how do you think your life would have turned out?
Like Amol Palekar, simple. That character
Like a
in a
whole
way.
Palekar. What else would you have done, if not this?
I was good in writing. So maybe writing something. I was good in literature to a certain
Really?
extent. Yeah, Hindi literature at that point of time.
But so are you.
I mean, I enjoyed a lot.
You're studying Shakespeare
Yes,
now.
I love it.
So, or maybe into sports or maybe into music.
So, all the things you're saying are very art-based.
Yeah.
I'm
Skill-based.
very right brain. So
Very
You're very
right
right
brain.
brain.
very right brain.
Actually, I see that. I sense that in your communications as well,
Yeah.
which is very rare for a businessman.
No, but having I always trained. I created a lot of design management programs to make business people learn both sides of the brain, right and the left side. So that
I have a
program
few
still runs
friends
in.
who I'd like to send for this coaching.
But that works unbelievably well. We used to do a design management program in our office earlier, where everybody has to go to understanding the right and the left both. And I think the best usage, the most successful people in the world have been both right and left brain aligned.
Aligned.
Yeah.
Totally.
Look at Steve Jobs.
Steve
right?
Jobs.
Like fully aligned, right, left.
But the creation part, the first part. So you will always see that in most of the successful people who created 0 to 1 and made it very big. All right and left brain aligned.
So, just left brain is not good enough. Okay, one piece of advice that you guys want to give each other. You have to give him some advice and he has to give you some. First, we'll start with you.
Oh, I have to give him advice.
Yeah.
first. Why will he ever take my advice?
Because you have to give it to him. He takes it or not, that's up to him.
Trust us more.
Trust the girls more.
Trust I do fully. Trust is not the challenge at all.
Then
You want them to be, when you see a flaw or a personality shift which you require to run a business, they are very good in running the family or running the relationships. But in business, we have seen maybe little better than them. So we want them to work in a particular way so that their decisions are right.
so be 100 on 100.
Maybe.
I mean, it's a dad's wish. That's the best he can try.
Correct.
Right?
It's not about trust there. It's about we know that this is short not going to work.
Oh, you all know only. I forget. क्या कुछ नहीं कर सकते इसमें. So what is your advice to?
That's the advice
That we know.
that we know
Every-
better.
And now just
than you.
We know better.
And
Oh,
follow.
no. Guess what investor you got now?
You're my investor.
I'm saying
He's my brand ambassador.
his package deal.
Okay. Biggest misconception about first generation entrepreneurs? I want to hear from you. And second generation. What is the biggest misconception people have, according to you?
I think for my generation, because I mean, actually, I'm a 1.5, right?
1.5.
Like, in some strange way, I'm like a 1.5. Thought confused, maybe. But I think it's people don't take you seriously, and people don't take women even more seriously. So that is the fact.
Fair enough. Yeah. It's a bit harder.
Yeah. People doubt whether you'll show up at work. People doubt. Like I'd done early day interviews when I had joined. People would come and ask me in an interview, what time do you come to work? I said, what time do you come to work, dude? Like, what kind of questions are these?
Fair. Yeah. It's all around us.
Yeah.
It's all around us.
So they don't take you seriously. You have to prove yourself a little bit harder. And you have to be determined to do what you want to do, or you create what you want to create.
And so for you?
I think misconception what people have about first generation entrepreneur is skepticism always, and judgmental. Everybody has an opinion. So I gave my opinion about so many brands. So
You gave your brand. Yeah. But I mean, everyone's entitled to an
Have an
opinion.
yeah, and I think skepticism is a big thing.
Yeah, skepticism. I get that. Okay, so now when we think of the next 5 years of this dynamic father-daughter duo, like in their respective chapter 2s and their chapter 2 together, where do you see yourselves individually and together 5 years from now, personally, professionally? What is different from now and 5 years later?
I think, like he said, we are now working with a very distal customer audience, right? Which is the customer audience of Singapore, Poland. I don't think a lot of our brands work with Mexico, but they will go down deeper into Mexico as time goes by. So that's one. I think we'll have a better and a more intuitive handle on how you do business with these top 10% of India. That's number one. We'll know how to use AI fully to personalize and also to optimize. So at both ends, we would have learned how to use AI well. And to me, my biggest personal aspiration is fundamentally to build a team and a culture that understands and lives the essence of what we are trying to do. In every brand, in every business, the culture will be nuanced and tweaked. But to me, that's the biggest dream. To build a company, a team, a culture which is unshakable, which is at the core true to its customer and true to its the company's purpose.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you are doing that with him, with his vision, with him being by your
Absolutely.
side.
Yeah, and I think that's where he has maximum number of views as well, about culture, how do we conduct meetings, what is the kind of lingo that is being used in the team, how are we learning more and more about customers, how quickly are we able to adapt and quickly start iterating on that on the floor with the customer. That's where he has the most number of views, where we sort of struggle as well. So I think that's going to be more resolved.
Dinner table
then-
fights.
Then, hopefully. So, because company and culture is never built in a hurry. The culture of a company is built through small, simple steps being done every day, day in and day out, and only then is it felt and lived every day. So that is the dream actually.
Spoken like a true second generation.
1.5.
1.5. So where do you see your chapter 2, your new vision in the next 5 years? What do you see happening? What is the dream?
I have a dream. I love that book also. I too had a dream which I shared with a lot of people. Verghese
Dr.
Kurian,
Verghese Kurian.
Yeah.
the story of Amul. So, and for me, I think I've been fortunate that I've been able to start a second inning in an interesting way. And there are a lot of people who supported us they got funding. We have got like so many people who came forward to help us to build a new life in a way. So now it's time to give back to them something. And for me, the way I'm looking at it is how can I help a lot of entrepreneurs in the country? And I'm working on a program which she coined, the School of Life. And how can you train entrepreneurs, mentor them, to take them through the highs and lows of the journey of the entrepreneurs and lead an interesting life which will make their business successful. So life and business is something which I believe is intertwined, and that's what a lot of people mistake that. And I'm mentoring few entrepreneurs now on this subject, and I believe that's a mission.
So it's just enmeshed. It's not a work-life balance, you're saying?
It is enmeshed.
It's not different.
Seamless.
It is seamless.
I mean, yeah, I think that's a skill that no one teaches us in school, and for sure.
And life, they are going to go through events in life, and they will have to deal with it. Either you learn it on your own or you have some sarthi or somebody with you. Can I be that person for some 20 entrepreneurs in the country or something, which I'm looking forward to.
Oh, that will be amazing.
So they are the entrepreneurs, I'm helping them out. I hope they
They are
take
in
my
the school of
lessons.
life.
I'm in the school of life.
in the school of life.
I'm also admitted now.
So I think that's what is a journey. And I believe in 5 years' time, we would have made some entrepreneurs who one should be proud of.
Lovely. And my last but not the least question is, what are your thoughts on legacy? What are your thoughts on, like you said, we come on this earth, we all think we take ourselves
Legacy
very seriously.
is too serious thing. I don't
No, we
understand what is
come
legacy.
for time pass.
Yeah.
But then in
Once
the
you are
end,
dead, you are dead.
we're
It's
still
over.
talking about Steve Jobs.
No, but what, Steve Jobs? What legacy? Legacy, once you are dead, you are dead. There is no legacy.
So you don't believe in legacy?
Zero. Zero means absolute
Can there be a
zero.
legacy of
Interesting.
ideas?
It's an
No,
interesting
but
thought.
ideas, though, there are no ideas are original.
I kind of asked this question to a lot of the guests who come on the podcast, and most people are looking for a legacy. But I also somewhere feel that after another 50 years, who will even remember Steve
No,
Jobs?
but how does it matter if you are remembered or not also? I don't understand
Yeah,
that.
what
Why
is
do you
the...
take yourself so
Yeah,
seriously?
you are dead, you are gone. That's it.
So then the purpose of doing all of this in life,
It's fun.
you enjoy it. So
You
do
should
it.
love everything what you do, the down moments and the up moments. I think that's what life is all about. And that's how the biggest thing we enjoy is meeting people. Every day we'll be meeting some new people. Otherwise, their life doesn't go on.
Meet people with new ideas, interesting
idea.
thoughts, different philosophies,
Yeah.
different mindsets.
And everyone
And
has
all disciplines.
their own shades
Yeah.
and their own experiences through which we learn, and the school of life is lived.
I love this. I'm definitely part of the school of life, and I have really most definitely got more from this conversation than I have given, including my funding. So thank you so much, Ashni and Kishore sir, for coming on Chapter 2. This is the Season 2 first episode. We'll be meeting much more often. I'll be getting to eat more Marwadi food. Maybe I
Always.
can call you all over for Bengali and Konkani food.
Why not?
And we can mix the two, three cultures together.
Absolutely. And to a fabulous chapter 2.
Thank you to
Great,
both of
thank
you as
you.
well. And look great in Chapter 2. No one's looked better. No one's looked better in that
Okay,
hoodie.
ab nikal.